Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. Last class, we had a discussion on simple rules of narration. We could not focus all the rules. So today we are going to discuss the rest of the rules. And I hope that after this class, we can have enough knowledge to do the exercise of board questions and other things in the coming classes. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, this is English second paper, Simple Rules of Narration, Part 2. Today we are going to discuss use of let when let indicates proposal or suggestion. When the reported speech starts with let's or let us, the verb is changed into suggest or propose plus that plus subject plus should plus verb. Always remember should, might, after should and might, all these modal verbs, the verb is used in their base form. Some of you call it a noun form, present form, no present form, base form. Anyway, the structure, the second structure can be suggest or propose plus zirand. Zirand is verb plus ing. Or third structure can be suggest or propose plus infinitive. Infinitive is to plus verb. Okay. Let us see some of the examples where let us is used as a proposal or suggestion. The first example, he said, let's give a party. Let's see where the indirect speech comes. He suggested or proposed that they should give a party. Now, what's the next answer option? He suggested giving a party. That is suggested plus zero. Or third structure, he proposed to give a party. That is proposed plus infinitive. See the next example. He said to her, let us drop the matter. The indirect speech is he proposed to her that they should drop the matter. He and she, they both together decide the thing. So the subject after linker, that is they. Okay, now let's see let indicating request, beg, or entreat. The structure is let plus him, me, them, not us. Anyway, we'll know the different use of us in the next slides. Here the reporting verb is changed into request, beg, entreat, tell. Verb of reported speech, that plus might plus verb, or might be allowed to plus verb. Another option is tell, or according to the tense, we can use told plus object to. I've already told you that tell, the verb tell takes an object. Now let us see the example. The worker said to the manager, "Let me go home early today." Let us see the indirect speech. The worker requested the manager that he might or might be allowed to go home early that day. Now go to the next speech. He said to me, "Let Kareem come on Monday." See the indirect speech. He told me that Kareem might come on Monday. Okay. He said, "Let me go." Indirect speech. He requested that he might go or might be allowed to go. Here, all the sentences starting with let indicate permission or request, beg, entreating, etc. So the verb structure becomes, after the linker, that subject plus might plus base form of the verb, or subject plus might be allowed to plus base form of the verb. Now we have to be a little careful. Not always let us indicate, may indicate a proposal. Let's see what happens in these sentences. The workers said to the manager, "Let us enjoy a half holiday today." Now see the relationship between the speaker and the listener. The speakers are plural, workers, where the listener is a manager who is of high rank in this office. So naturally, let us does not indicate a proposal or a suggestion. Though we have let us at the beginning, see the speakers are plural, so they must say let us. So despite having let us in this sentence, the sentence indicates a request, a polite request. So let's see the answer. The workers requested the manager that they might or might be allowed to enjoy a half holiday that day. So here also we have to consider the speakers, persons, number and persons, and sometimes the relationship. See the next sentence. The students said to the headmaster, "Let us play a friendly football match with the neighboring school." As usual, here the speaker is plural, and they are requesting the head teacher, not they are proposing to the head teacher that they will play the friendly football match, not with the head teacher also with them in their team. They are simply asking for a permission. As usual, here let us does not indicate suggestion or a proposal. Let us simply indicates a polite request. Entreat. See the answer. The students requested the head teacher that they might be allowed to play a friendly football match with the neighboring school. So students are requesting. Now also you have some confusion about optative sentences. Let's go to optative sentences. Reported verb is changed into wish or pray. Sorry, it should be reporting verb. plus that plus subject plus might plus verb. It is preferable to use pray if the speaker is a parent, an elderly person, or the sentence starts with may Allah, may God. In that case, actually, these people, or when the sentence starts with may Allah, God, these things indicate a sort of prayer. So it's preferable for us to use pray or its past form if the speaker is a parent, an elderly person, a relative, or the sentence starts with may Allah or may God. See the example. He said, may Bangladesh prosper day by day. Here the subject is he, the speaker is he, and the sentence starts with may Bangladesh, so it's a good wish. So let us see the answer. He wished that Bangladesh might prosper day by day. It's just simply a wish, a good wish for a country you love. Okay, what about the next sentence? May you succeed in, father said, may you succeed in every aspect of life. Father, the senior-most or person in the family, or a very affectionate person who cares for everything. And the sentence, as you just start, is a sort of father is praying for me. When, see that, when the sentence starts with father said, it implies that my father said. So automatically during the change, the person you will be changed into I, that is first person in the indirect speech. See the answer. Father prayed that I might succeed in, so that in every aspect of life, corrective, it should be in. Okay, now let us also deal with some more confusions regarding when we meet people or take leave of someone. These belong to actually exclamatory sentences. So when we meet someone, we say or we greet him or her saying good morning, good day. So actually there's a confusion about, okay, what will we wish someone if we meet him at after 11 p.m. That is at 12:01 at dead of night. When we meet someone at 12:01 a.m., we should wish him good morning. Whereas even if it is 11:59 p.m., when we meet someone, we wish him good afternoon, sorry, good evening. But when we take leave of someone at 7 in the evening, we might say goodbye. Whereas if it is bedtime, we might bid him good night if it is bedtime. Anyway, so let us discuss these things. When you meet someone, we say good morning, good day, etc. Here, reporting verb is changed into wish. The structure becomes wish plus listener plus good morning. Some grammarians also suggest to use an article a before good morning. Though we often omit this. Or second structure, wish plus good morning plus to plus listener. We can also use this structure. So when we take leave of someone, we say goodbye, good night. I have also already explained when do we tell good night. We do not say good night at 7 p.m., 7 in the evening, because this is not sleep time. So when we take leave of someone, when it is not sleep time, we usually say goodbye, farewell. Farewell is a very formal word. Farewell, adieu, these are all very formal words usually used to take leave of someone or some people for a long time. Farewell. But usually we use goodbye. So when we take leave of someone, we say goodbye, good night, farewell, adieu, etc. Here reporting verb is changed into bid and past tense, bade. See the examples. Okay. Let us see the example. He said to his friends, good morning. He is meeting his friend. He wished his friends good morning. I have kept A within brackets. You can write A good morning, or now we often omit A. What about the next example? He said to me, goodbye, dear friend. So there is a difference. See, sentence number 1 and sentence number 2. Sentence number 1, he said to his friends. Here, the speaker and the listeners are clear, friends and he. Number 2, he said to me, that is, he is talking to me, but he is addressing me as dear friend. So what is the indirect speech? Addressing me as dear. So he's addressing me as his dear friend, addressing me as dear friend, or you can use addressing me as his dear friend. It's okay. He bade me a goodbye, he bade me goodbye, or he bade goodbye to me. We can use any of the structures. Addressing me as dear friend, he bade me a goodbye, or he bade goodbye to me. Now let us come to the more formal approach of the speaker. Socrates said to his disciples, Socrates, he was a very knowledgeable person of the ancient Greece, disciples, students, farewell. So this word farewell indicates a more formal way of taking leave of someone for a long time or sometimes forever. Okay. Let's see the indirect speech. Socrates bade farewell to his disciples. So the reporting verb is changed into wish when we meet someone, when wishing like good morning, good day appears in the reported speech. And the verb becomes bid or past tense bade when the reported speech contains words like farewell, goodbye, good night, adieu, etc. Now let's see. Often we have some confusion about addressing someone as. When do we use this addressing? Usually when the relationship is not as it appears, we use addressing. See the example. Karim said to Mrs. Rehana, "Mother, give me some money." Here, the speaker and the listener, the relationship is quite clear. Here, we understand that Karim's mother is Mrs. Rehana, so he is addressing Mrs. He's just simply directly go to the from mother. Here, we do not use addressing. See the indirect speech. Karim requested his mother. See the spelling. Karim requested his mother, Mrs. Rehana, to give him some money. So here directly we go to the person like Karim requested his mother, Mrs. Rehana. Here we do not use addressing Mrs. Rehana as mother. Usually a son calls a mother, mother. It's okay. Now let us see the next sentence. The beggar said to Mrs. Salma, "Mother, give me some food." Here, obviously, the sentence tells us that the relationship of beggar and Mrs. Salma is not of that one. He is addressing to that person. So we understand that beggar is, in some way, this is a sort of entreating, using, or he is trying to softening the heart of Mrs. Salma by addressing her as mother. So the indirect speech stands addressing Mrs. Salma as mother. The beggar requested her to give him some food. Here, beggar knows that Mrs. Salma is not his mother, but he is trying to softening the heart of Mrs. Salma by addressing her mother. So addressing Mrs. Salma as mother, the beggar requested her to give him some food. Okay, now let us discuss some of the tense-related challenges we face in changing narrations. Tense of reported speech is not changed. When? Tense of reported speech is not changed when? These are the areas. When reporting verb is in present or future tense, like you can say, he says to me, he will say to me, like this. When the reporting verb is present or future tense, we do not change the tense of the reported speech. Tense of the reported speech means tense of the verb of the reported speech. Always a verb has tense, no other words. And when the reported speech is A/N, I have used here to cover both vowel or consonant letters, starting a word. Universal truth or scientific truth. These are all synonymous. All scientific truths are universal truth, or universal truths are scientific truths. Like we can mention some of the universal truths, like man is mortal. Scientific truth is ice floats on water. Then scientific truth is iron is heavier than say that aluminium. Universal truth is the sun rises in the east. Like this. Habitual fact. What is an habitual fact? Doing one work almost every day, we develop habits. So if I take a walk in the morning, if I take a glass of water in the morning every day, if I do a particular job at a particular time, I develop a habit. So this is my habitual fact. This is a habit with me. In that case, even if the speaker mentioned it in the past, the habit still exists and still is practiced. On this ground, we do not change the tense of the reported speech, verb of the reported speech. Now, proverb. Proverbs are wise words, adages, which have been carrying wisdom for centuries or millennia. So proverb cannot be changed. Proverbs like unity is strength, proverb like a stitch in time saves nine, proverbs are black will take no other hue. So there are many proverbs, and proverbs make our language beautiful. So when we have proverbs in our reported speech, we do not change the tense. Or in case of proverb, we do not change actually anything. Quotation of a famous person. Persons who are known in the society as knowledgeable, influential, and who have contributed to the development of society, who have countrywide, worldwide admiration and reputation. These are all famous persons. We can mention some poets, some writers, some politicians. So these are all famous persons. So we do not change their quotation. Though they quoted some 100 years back, but when we mention the quotation, we'll keep the quotation as it is. So we do not change the tense of the verb of the quotation of a famous person. Also, complex sentence with two verbs in past tense. When the reported speech is a complex sentence with two verbs in the past tense, we do not change the tense of that verb. Now, let us see some examples to clarify our idea. He says to me, I shall go to your house tomorrow. Here we are supposed to um, change tomorrow shall go like this. Let's see what happens. He tells me, I also have told you not to keep stage 2 in the indirect form. Tells me that he will go to my house. Here the person is changed. Tomorrow will remain tomorrow, because we are not going to change that verb. Also, next example, he said, every living thing must meet death. So this is the universal truth. The reporting verb is past, but we know that we are not going to change the tense if the sentence is a universal truth. See the answer? He said that every living thing must meet death. Universal truth. He said, I take a walk every morning. So this is a habit, and this is not going to change within a foreseeable future as long as he lives. So here the tense remains the same. He said that he takes a walk every morning. Maybe he mentioned it some week ago or yesterday, but still he has the habit. So we are not going to change the tense of the verb. Here we have more examples. He said, a stitch in time saves 9. This is a proverb. It indicates the usefulness of time. That if we do one work in time, we can save many hassles. So this is a proverb. So we are not going to change anything with it. He said that a stitch in time saves 9. Okay, next. Poet John Keats. So this is actually what I have mentioned, J. Keats in my, So John Keats is a very famous romantic poet. Unfortunately, he died at a very younger age, but his poems achieved worldwide reputation. Poet John Keats said, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. We are not going to change it because he's a very famous person in the world of literature. Poet John Keats said that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. He said to me, when I went there, I found none to help me. Look at this sentence. Here we have two verbs in the past tense, went and found. There is a subordinating conjunction, when. So this is a complex sentence. One part is the subordinate clause part is when I went there, and the principal clause part is I found none to help. In this type of sentence, with two verbs in the past tense, we are not going to change those two verbs into two past perfect tenses. We keep the past tense, verb of the past tense as it is. See the answer? He told me that when he went there, he found none to help him. So we here have changed only the persons, but there's no change of tenses. And also you have, I think, that better idea about complex sentences. Complex sentences are those sentences which have one principal clause and one subordinate clause. And these two clauses are joined by conjunctions. It may be WH conjunctions, though, although, if, unless, and then WH conjunctions. Okay, these are complex sentences. And here the subordinate clause part depends on the principal clause part, and thus becomes a complex sentence. So in that case, if a complex sentence has two verbs in the past tense, we are not going to change. their tenses. Also, of course, we might change the persons, the adverbs also. Adverb, we can change the adverbs. Now we have a last note before we conclude. In some of the above examples, concerned persons, adjectives, or adverbs are changed. So especially when the sentences are like complex sentences with two verbs. Also, these things especially, we can change the concerned persons like from first person to third person, depending on the speaker and the listener's number and person. Also adjectives and adverbs. But except in which cases, if the reported speech is a proverb, universal truth or scientific truth, or quotation, then we are not going to change any tense or anything at all. We'll simply write after the linker that what appears in the between the inverted commas. Simply after that, we'll keep the rest of the sentence in the inverted commas. So these are more or less with narration, and I hope after these two classes, you'll be able to learn the rules. These are also rules at a glance. Now let me come to the screen, and thank you boys for listening to me, and I hope that you can drive away your confusion about many rules, many common mistakes we come across while checking your copies. Try to avoid these mistakes. After all, it's not about only getting A+, also it's about learning the language perfectly so that we can use our knowledge in our later life. So in the next class, we are going to solve some of the board questions, different board questions in passage narration, and then we'll proceed to another grammatical attempt. In the meantime, I thank you all for participating me. I have enjoyed today's class. You have maintained very good silence and participation. I hope this will continue in the next class also. Thank you, boys. Let me end up the meeting. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.